Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 126. Don't act like I forgot what episode it was. I didn't. I definitely fucking didn't, cocksucker. We're here today on this very exciting, popping podcast. We're here today. And this has been my first solo podcast in about 6 or 5 episodes. I haven't been with you guys for a month now. So how are you? Are you doing good? That's fantastic. If you answered the screen, you're a 4-year-old. But no 4-year-old is watching this, so we're off to a rough start here. We're off to a little bit of a bombing start. That's okay though. That's okay. I have some topics written down. We're going to dive right into those before I just continue to eat shit into this intro. We're just going to move on. Boom, intro. There you go. It's over. I'm life CPR certified now. That's a big change. It's a big change since I last been on this podcast. I'm life CPR certified. I'm lifeguard certified. I'm first aid certified. All through the Red Cross, of course. I mean, the holy grail of lifeguarding certifications. And I just want to know that I would say I beg you to try and die in front of me. I swear to God, if anyone even attempts to have a heart attack in front of me, you goddamn son of a bitch, you're going to be saved. Okay, I'm the destroyer at saving people. Okay, they call me Kpush. I didn't have anything for there. You know when you just throw a setup and you hope it comes? It never does, but that's okay. We're going to keep attempting to just keep throwing up setups. And one day, well, I'll alley-oop it to myself. Either way, I'll save the shit out of you. I am lifeguard certified for a new job that I got. I am a swim instructor. I teach young children and adults how to swim, and I don't preferably like to talk about this on my podcast. I am an expert swimmer, okay? Don't fuck with me at the block, okay, dude? I'm a fucking swimmer for life, swim gang, okay, dude? What is this? This is the swim gang sign. I'll fuck you up, okay, dude? I'm a swimmer, and I will beat the shit out of you. You don't want to fuck with the swimmer, okay, dude? Then you don't want to fuck with somebody who can jump into a pool. They will kill you. They will kill you so fast. They're so dangerous, those swimmers. Oh, don't fuck with swimmers. You know the saying. Don't fuck with the swimmers. They'll fuck you up. No, I'm a swimmer for life. I'm a swimmer for life. Okay, dude? And I've been swimming since I was 5 years old. Unfortunately, I have been. But I'll fuck you up because I am a swimmer. But I've been swimming since I was 5 years old, in and out of competitive swim. I have a large, extended background into swimming. Nobody gives a fuck, though, about that. So we're not going to, go into my swim life. Nobody wants to know that. Nobody cares. So I'm a swim instructor now, and it's been a hectic couple of weekends, okay, dude? Might I say, it's not fun. It's not fun getting lifeguard certified. It actually sucks absolute dick. The amount of, and by the way, I was already lifeguard certified. So I was lifeguard certified, but if you wait 2 years until after you get it renewed, then it goes expired, which I will never let happen again because the redoing of CPR training is absolute ass, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but, I can save someone now, which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice knowing that knowledge that I have. Where was I going with this? I had something to go with this, but I got a watch. Got a watch now. I'm a watch guy. I spent $30 on this watch, and it's waterproof. And I had to get it for swim, and I intend to be the most annoying human being about it. I will consistently look at it all the time. Dude, I'm going to start a stopwatch just even though that I can, it's not working. Even though that I can just look at the computer to see how long I'm going, but I'm going to use my watch because I spent $30 on this watch, and I intend to get every fucking penny out of it. Okay, dude, I'm broke as fuck, and I'm gonna use this watch, and I'm gonna be a watch guy. And Iron Man watches, you want a sponsorship? You got a watch guy. You got an Iron Man watch guy. Nobody knows what that is. It's a great watch, but I'm not gonna sit here and talk about watches. I went to a Corpus Christi. It's a place in Texas, and it's right close to the ocean. It's like the Cape Cod of Massachusetts, if you will, or any beach in Orlando, because Cape Cod sucks absolute fucking dick and balls. And the fact that people even attempt to go to Cape Cod to have a good time is a great representation of how shitty the state of Massachusetts actually is. But don't be warned. Don't be warned. Don't be tricked now, okay? The Corpus Christi, which is the better version of Cape Cod of Massachusetts, Corpus Christi of Texas, also sucks a dick and balls. It's so horrible. And the only reason we went and it was somewhat busy is because there was a sand castle competition. That's why when we went to Corpus Christi, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so busy here. There's so many people here this weekend for this sand castle competition." It was pathetic. Okay, it was pathetic, embarrassing, gross, and disgusting. And the fact that there was a sandcastle competition going on in a 10-mile radius of my personal space made me want to go out and drown into the ocean and get eaten by sharks. I didn't appreciate it at all. I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for a sandcastle competition. And then my mother the whole time is like, "Oh my gosh, Chris, we have to go see the sandcastles." As my white mother in her 50s just talks about how we have to go see the sandcastles. They're so much fun, aren't they? Aren't the sandcastles so much? They're so much fun. And she would say words like weird words, like, "Isn't this amazing? Isn't this unbelievable? Isn't this great?" Yes, it's great that a 30-year-old adult can do a better version of what I could when I was 5 years old with a bucket. That's fantastic. And my mother would be like, "No, you don't even understand, Chris. Okay? I don't know why my mom's gay and has a lisp, but, like, I don't know how to emulate my mother because she's mentally ill in all ways all at once. So, like, she does have a lisp, but she's also sounds retarded and normal and just a little autistic all at once. So I don't know how to do all of them at once, so I just choose one to replicate her, of course. And so she's like, "Chris, these people, they have tool belts. They have tool belts, Chris. They have every tool you could ever imagine. And they make mermaids." And that's what my mother wanted to talk about all weekend long, was the The sandcastle competition. And the only other thing that Corpus Christi does, and the only other thing that people do in Corpus Christi is, of course, drink, because that's the only thing you can do in Texas, is drink, of course, and ride golf carts. They love to ride a golf cart around. Like, there were hundreds of golf carts in Corpus Christi. An insane amount of golf carts in Corpus Christi. And everybody rode them. But you couldn't rent a golf cart and ride it unless you were 21 years old. In Texas, you can't ride a golf cart unless you're 21. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I never imagined, the land of Texas, the great sweet land of Texas, where you can't get an abortion and also can't ride a golf cart. Oh, sweet Texas. It's the land where you can't ride a golf cart or get an abortion. Isn't that why people move to Texas, to not be able to get an abortion and also not ride a golf cart? And I was a little on edge, about this abortion thing. Okay? I was a little on edge when they were like, look, no more abortions. You have to physically hold something inside your body that is should be a right to do with what you want to do with your body, but it's besides the fact. You gotta hold a baby. But, even me, I was like, okay, fine. You're gonna make my girlfriend hold a fetus, When technology gets good enough and I can hold a baby, or I can get pregnant, you're gonna make me hold a baby. But this whole not being able to ride the golf cart really pushed me over the edge. It really did. This was the last straw for Texas. Okay, dude. The whole, not being able to get abortion, telling women what to do with their bodies, forcibly having them to push a baby that they do not want out of their vagina. That was okay with me. That was fine. I mean, it was a little disturbing, but I was okay with it. I guess. I live here. I mean, my girlfriend live here, but this whole no riding the golf cart has set me completely over the fucking edge. I can't stand to live in a state where I can't ride a fucking golf cart. And is this what Republicans talk about? Is this what these goddamn Republicans who always talk about these liberal dicks, these goddamn liberals, they want to be able to take their penis and make it a vagina, but why don't you just move to Texas with all the freedom in the world? Is this what Tucker Carlson was talking about when he was talking about freedom, is that you can't ride a fucking golf cart? What can you do at 18? You can get drafted to war, lifeguard certified, CPR certified. You can save a baby and be entrusted with drowning victims at a pool at 18. You can be sent to war. Did I say that? I feel like I should say that again. You can live on your own, drive halfway across the country. You can host your own podcast. You get a manager's position at Domino's. You can... What else can you do? You can cut your dick off and make it into a vagina. But you want to ride a golf cart? Okay. Hey now, slow your roll. Slow your roll, okay? This country was founded on freedom. All right? And Texas is the safest place in the whole goddamn country. It's the most free, safest place. Great land. Never seen before. In all of goddamn human history. But if you think that you want to ride a golf cart after coming back from Vietnam or Afghanistan and witnessing the true meaning of war, and you want to ride a golf cart, we'll let you operate a tank. We'll let you operate a tank in war and blow people's heads off. But if you think you're riding a fucking golf cart in Corpus Christi, Texas, I will fucking kill you. And I'll hunt down your family, and I will murder them too. Is this what Tucker Carlson wanted? Is this what every Republican wanted when they talk about freedom? A state where you can't get an abortion, buy a gun, a rocket launcher. You can buy a rocket launcher at 18, but you can't ride a fucking golf cart. And I know Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson, if they're watching this, well, actually, you can't buy a rocket launcher, Chris. Just a little bit of an exaggeration, actually. But you can buy a pistol, a shotgun, sure, but you actually shouldn't be able to ride a golf cart in Corpus Christi. Okay? It's very dangerous. Okay. I am done. I can't. This whole Republican, if Republicans treated their AK-47s, if they protected their AK-47s as much as they protected, or I'm saying this wrong, it's because a little confidence syrup, a little magic syrup, if you will, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm talking about. If Republicans protected golf carts as much as they protected their AK-47s, I think the country would be in a better state. No? No? Is that offensive to say? Is that offensive to say that maybe before we die on the brand new AK-47 rocket launcher, maybe we should protect the golf carting rights? Acid reflux. Oh, that's bad. Acid reflux. Is that... I just want to know, is that wrong to say? That's enough talking about golf carts. I've had enough. God damn it, now my nose is all clogged from fucking acid reflux. It's okay. It's okay. The adrenaline of the podcast will help me continue and pull through. Now, let's move on. Shit. Well, I got nothing else to talk about. Speaking of... Am I right? No, that's fine. Speaking of transgender and being able to cut your dick off, Chris's, and when I say Chris, I mean Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast himself, his friend, Mr. Beast's friend, has become or has came out. I don't know how you should or would phrase that. Come out, became. Is it the same thing? Mr. Beast's friend evolved. How about that? How about evolved? Mr. Beast's friend evolved into a transgender person. I like evolved better than coming out or became. I like that, right? Mr. Beast's friend came out as transgender. Mr. Beast's friend became transgender. Mr. Beast's friend evolved into a transgender. That's the one. That is the one. I like that. I'm keeping that. Okay? Right? Because they evolved. They became something better. I think this is more supportive of LGBTQ, or whatever it is now. I think that it is way more support because evolving, is becoming something better, right? Right? You don't want to say became. He became she. You don't want to say that. He evolved into she. Am I wrong on this? So, Mr. Beast's friend evolved into a transgender, and Snapchat stories won't shut the fuck up about it. If you go into the news section of Snapchat, that's it, and that's been it for like a month. And maybe it's catering to me because, like, I'll look at how many there are every time. There's like 30 different articles about Mr. Beast's transgender friend. And I guess Mr. Beast is like annoyed or weirded out. And a Keemstar talked about it, apparently. I thought Keemstar died. I thought Keemstar was dead. How are Keemstar and podcasts how are they existing at the same time? I thought Keemstar died out with Filthy Frank. He's still alive? And he's talking about Mr. Beast's transgender friend. And I don't know this because I don't go on Keemstar's YouTube channel. And I never will, ever. But according to the headlines of the Snapchat story articles, he's talking mad shit. And I'm not gonna research it. There are way better things to do than research if Keemstar is talking shit about Mr. Beast's transgender friend. Believe me, there's much, much better things to do than to do that. And so I intend not to do that. But they keep talking about it, and Of course. Listen. If I was on Joe Rogan tomorrow, if I popped off, this YouTube channel blew up and it had 1 million subscribers tomorrow, and I went on Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz had me on Flagrant 2, Tim Dillon and me were having sex and having sexual relations. Listen, I think Dominic, he would come out transgender tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's a great way to get attention and steal it from your friend. Mr. Beast was popping off a little too much. And his friend, went the ultimate route and said, listen, if you don't cut back on your popularity, and Mr. Beast, he went on Joe Rogan. I bet you that this transgender friend sat down Chris from Mr. Beast and looked at him and said, look, if you go on Joe Rogan, I'm going to cut my dick off. And there's nothing you can do about it. And Mr. Beast had the decision of his friend, cutting his dick off, probably going to get more attention than Mr. Beast for like a month. But that's real. That's real. Getting more attention than Mr. Beast for a month is huge. That is the biggest. People can only dream of that. Do you understand how big that is? For like a normal human being who doesn't think they're going to get anywhere? I mean, it's not a lot for like Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. Or Beyonce. Of course it's not. But if you're, which by the way, let's pull up a picture of Mr. Beast's transgender friend. Can we do that? I want to pull up a picture of Mr. Beast's transgender friend. Let's look this up. Mr. Beast trans friend. That might be offensive to say. That's okay. Let's look up Fox News. Of course. Why wouldn't Fox News be the first article? I get that you guys can't see, but you guys are about to see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I know. I get it. What podcast are we listening to? What incapable podcast host is this who can't multitask? I get it. Okay. There we go. It's pulled up. You can look on the screen. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. 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 That girl is not attractive. I wouldn't sleep with her in a million years. And there are trans women I would fuck. Blair White. If Blair White walked in that door right now and she looked at me and she was like, I'm going to suck your dick. I think my pants would come flying off. Like in an animated kids TV show. Like they would animatedly like blow off. And I'd let Blair White blow me. But I mean, come on. Why wouldn't I mean, she was an even attractive man. Really? I think I look better than that, and I'm not anything. I think I'm shit. I just spilled my drink. God fucking shit. You fucking. Ugh! Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are back from cleaning up a little spillage. I've upgraded my beverage to a little more Confidence syrup, if you will. If you catch my drift. Now, where were we? Of course. Yes. Mr. Beast's transgender friend is ugly as fuck. Girl or boy. Ugly as fuck. And if I got big as Mr. Beast, Dom is equally as ugly as she was and still is. And Dominic would absolutely transition into being a woman to steal my spotlight. And I think that's what's happening here. Because I know Dominic, and Dominic absolutely would do this. So, I don't understand the whole, like, why does every Snapchat article have to be about this person? It's just, there's no need. There's no need. Why isn't it about the golf carts in Corpus Christi? Thought about that one much? Huh? Have you thought about that Snapchat articles, people's, whoever writes those? It's probably fucking AI at this point. Who gives a shit? Okay, I'm done talking about that because I'm getting bored, and if I'm getting bored, you guys are getting fucking bored. So, it's weird. We're coming up on 11 months of me being too consistent on this podcast. I mean, very, very consistent on this podcast. Way too much work and effort put into this thing I'm not getting anything out of. But, nevertheless, I started working on this consistently as soon as I got out of high school, as I always said I was going to. When I was in high school and I wasn't working on it consistently, I always said, well, the reason why is I was in high school. And so when I got out, I worked consistently, and it's almost been, a year, which means the grade below me is graduating, and it's cute. It's cute. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's very, very, very cute. Because there's so many, and my grade did this. I'm not saying my grade was better or anyone, in my senior class was absolutely amazing at. It's just quite simply really pathetic and disgusting. And I didn't participate in this in my grade, so I can criticize my grade. It was disgusting when my grade fetishized high school. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of this nowadays. Like Euphoria, social media, white women. They all love to fetishize high school. Like they really... Zendaya loves it. They all love to fetishize the idea of high school. And the reason why Zendaya does it is because she was a Disney Channel star. So she never got to live or be in a high school. So she likes to fetishize the idea of being in high school. That's why Zendaya loves to be the main, character in Euphoria, because that's what she gets to do. She gets to fetishize American high school, when really it's very boring. It's not that episodic. It's not that interesting. It's not that entertaining. And it's more something like The Office. Like The Office is almost a better representation of high school than Euphoria is. Like if you watch any episode of The Office, including the bad ones, I'm going to say that that's probably more of an accurate representation of what goes on in high school. including the bad ones, because I think the bad ones, without Michael, of course, those are the bad episodes. The episodes without Michael, that's representative of when you get a shitty teacher. Shitty teacher, shitty classroom, shitty TV show. See what I did there? God, that was terrible. That was terrible, but it was great all at the same time. So, I'm bothered. No, I am bothered. What was I talking about? Oh, yes. The fetishization of the American high school. The American high school is a place where kids get shot by other mentally challenged children, and I don't think that we need 1 million TikToks for when you graduate. I almost think that, like, if you graduate high school, you know, the thing that should be, you know, said, right? Like, the thing that you should mostly be saying, because these people, they're all lying, number one. All these people who post shit on social media when the graduation comes around, they're all fucking liars. And by the way, those people who post that shit are usually the cunts. And I know that from experience. The people who are like, gonna miss this grade, gonna miss all of you, are the people who have no intention on keeping anyone in contact. And if they do, it's because their lies are going so shitty, going so terribly, that the only thing they have to hold on to is their high school classmates. And that's a whole nother story. But the people who I'm talking about right now are the people who were popular because they're worried about not being popular anymore. And there are people who are going to be popular. And that's the other thing. There is 1 to 2 people out of every popular friend group, and this was Sophia Krinsky. And I can say Sophia Krinsky's name on my podcast because she is comfortable showing her titties to the internet. And when you are comfortable, and this is no hate to Sophia Krinsky, of course, but when you are comfortable showing your titties and ass cheeks to the internet, I'm going to talk about you on my podcast, and it is what it is. And, you know, Sophia Krinsky was a very popular girl, you know, and she might transition. Who knows? Sophia Krinsky might transition. She might not be a she in 10 years. Who knows? But, you know, she was a very popular girl at our school, and she was the one. She was the one person who was able to remain popular because of the fact, you know, she has equipment. She has things that would make you popular. I don't need to go into what. You can go to her Instagram. You can see why for yourself. And she's comfortable showing you, which is why I'm saying it on this podcast. Okay? But the reality is there was a lot of people in Sophia Krinsky's friend group who don't have that equipment. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they all want to post when they graduate. They are always posting. I love the class of 08 2023. The class of 08 2023 is the best class. The class of, and the grade below us is now doing the same thing. And I'm watching it in perspective, right? Of a year, the year forward perspective. And I have to tell you that you aren't going to talk to anybody from your high school. You aren't. There are friends I don't talk to. There are people who I have not talked to since high school got out. Friends. And these people, you know, all want to say, like, I loved everybody. And they were the popular ones. They were the cunts. They were the cunts in school. Do you understand what I'm saying? They were the assholes in middle school. And I was no better. No. I was no better. I was also an asshole. But the idea that people from Sophia Krinsky's friend group who aren't Sophia Krinsky are going to be posting about how much they love everybody in class 2023, and there is going to be a Sophia Krinsky from 2024. There is going to be that. I don't know who it's going to be. I have a couple people in mind. I have a couple people in mind. You know, I could give you. I'm not going to say their names because they're not Sophia Krinsky yet. When you do modeling and you show your titties to the whole internet, I can say your name on this podcast. Until then, until you do modeling and show your titties and have thousands of followers, look, what I'm trying to say is Sophia Krinsky didn't work as hard as I've worked on this podcast as much as she's worked as hard on having her equipment. Yeah. And I'm jealous because if I had Sophia Krinsky's equipment, this podcast would have blown off by now, quite frankly. And I'm angry. But you know, there are people in her friend group who want to fake being friends with everybody because they're insecure. And now I get to watch the grade below do the exact same thing. And it's so funny because my friends don't even talk to me. My friends barely talk to me. And there are so many people. And I think it's a big problem in Easton because everybody's been friends since, or has everybody been in the same class since third grade? You shouldn't be with the same 300 people for 10 years during your most important years of development. You shouldn't do that. You should not be with the same group of 300 kids in your most developing stages. It shouldn't happen. There's absolutely zero reason for that. Zero. I mean, there is a reason for it, but there's no good reason. Like, no one's like, yeah, you should be with the same group of people for 10 years in your most developing stages. It has to do with, you know, you all live in one town, you all live 10 minutes away from the same place, and you need to go there, which is fine. I understand that. But in Easton, there's no different high schools, there's no different middle schools, there's no different elementary. It's all the same thing throughout the entirety. And that destroys people's development. Destroys people's development. Now, I got the privilege of moving there when I was in 5th grade. So when I moved there, everybody thought they were hot shit. And I didn't give a fuck about anybody. And that helped me because it helped me navigate the bullshit of Easton, Massachusetts. But you have to understand there are people who are born, raised, and will continue to stay in Easton, Massachusetts, and they will continue to think they are hot shit. And the problem is some of them are, like Sophia Krinsky. She's hot shit. And people think they're Sophia Krinsky when they're around Sophia Krinsky. But the reality is, not everybody's dad owns Adidas. Not everybody's dad, owns a large part of a major corporation. And so when you're around these people who are hot shit, you continue to think you are hot shit. And the grade below thinks they're hot shit because some of, their parents make them hot shit. And some of them have pretty nice equipment themselves. If you know what I'm saying. And it's just cute. It's cute to look at. Oh, everybody's going to be friends. We all love each other. Hasn't it been a great 10 years together? No, it wasn't. If you ask me, it wasn't for me. Knowing the grade below me, it wasn't great knowing them. So I'm assuming one of the people in their grade probably assumes that it really wasn't a walk in the park. So, that's it. That's all I had for today to talk about. I did not know that I was going to go that deep on most of this stuff, but, we get some sexual juice in us, and we start saying things that maybe we'll regret tomorrow. But that isn't the whole point of podcasts. Isn't the whole... I'm going to move over so I'm in the middle of this, or maybe, just move my camera over. Isn't that the whole point, though? Is to regret what you're going to say on a podcast, broadcast to the entire internet. Isn't that the whole point? It's the whole idea. I want to go for four more minutes, so I'm not too sure what to talk about, what to do, the ideas of life. This is weird when you get into this place on a podcast, when you don't know exactly what to talk about, but because the podcaster mind, there's always things to talk about on the podcast mind, right? Like, people who have podcasts, people who are able to do solo podcasts, who are able to hop on a microphone. And I've said this multiple times on the podcast. Anybody who has a solo podcast should be locked away in a mental facility and not be able to leave, ever. Including me, Tim Dillon, Bill Burr. Lock all of us away. Anybody who has ever done a solo podcast. And who's ever had the idea of having a solo podcast is absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. And I've talked about this many times on this podcast, so I don't feel the need to talk about it anymore. But the podcast, it always has something to talk about because it's mental illness. You can't get rid of mental illness, and mental illness never really stops. So it always has something to talk about. But when you get on a podcast like this, your brain kind of clears up. And there's only so many things you can't talk about. So it's a weird state of mind for a podcaster to be like, well, what are we going to talk about? Because we're always having something on our brain to talk about. Always. There's always... when I walk, when I walk, what am I fucking talking about? When I go about day-to-day activities, when I'm driving on the road, when I'm going on my run, acid reflex. It might be the special juice. There's always things going through my brain. You're always talking to yourself. You are an insane person. You are a crazy, insane person if you can do a solo podcast. And Tim Warner, the legend, I said that like I was joking, but I actually fucking mean it. The fucking legend Tim Warner, seriously, one of the greatest comics ever of all time. That came out sounding sarcastic. I genuinely, I meant that. I can't fucking not sound sarcastic on a solo podcast. What? I'm joking the whole podcast. I can't say something serious and be like, no, I'm being serious for this. No, but I'm being fucking serious for this. Tim Warner is one of the best comedians of all time. That still somewhat sounded sarcastic, and it's fuck it, whatever. One of the things that he talks to me about, because I'm always asking Tim for advice, because I'm fucking terrible at doing stand-up comedy. He always talks to me about, like, yeah, you should talk to yourself. You should absolutely just talk to yourself all the time about ideas and things you want to say and things that you think are funny. You should just talk to yourself. And something he does is he puts earbuds or AirPods. He puts AirPods in his ears and pretends that he's talking to somebody and just talks to himself while he's walking, which is insane but genius, because someone with that like level of commitment is so crazy. He's so crazy, but amazing because of it. He's so amazing. When you see him on stage, you're like, oh my fucking God. And also with Tim Warner, when you're just talking to him, he's fantastic. I mean, he's just so smart and knows comedy so fucking well. It scares someone like me. It scares someone like me because he's doing open mics like me, and I'm like, how are you doing open mic comedy? I'm gonna be here for fucking ever. It scares the living shit out of me. But where was I going with that? Where on planet Earth was I going? I was gonna connect the whole talking on a podcast and being able to talk on a podcast. Maybe, I think this is where I was going, but I'm not too sure. I think to take getting good at this and getting good at comedy, you kind of have to have that insanity and also embrace that insanity where you're willing to put AirPod in your ears and acting like you're on a phone call when you're just talking to yourself. And so it's weird when you don't have anything to talk about on the podcast. I guess when you are that insane a little bit, where the fuck was I going with that? I guess that's true. Let's say that that's where I was going with that, because that's the best I got. But oh, that's definitely 4 fucking minutes. We're gonna wrap this episode up before I say something I regret. I feel like I'm gonna say like racism is coming on soon. Like I'm gonna find an article or something soon where I'm like, just yeah, George Floyd was wrong. Like I'm gonna. Well, I was joking when I said that. I was pretending to be racist. Don't take that out of context, please. Please don't take that out of context. Oh God, if you just clip that together, that looks so horrible. No, I was making fun. Never mind. Now I just look more racist. We need to end this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 126 from your non-racist podcast host. That was a joke, but thank you for listening. If you made it this far, God bless your soul. I don't know how you did it. I love you. Thank you so much for listening. This podcast is a failure. Thank you. Good night.